Okay guys, welcome to another video. In today's video, I wanted to talk about full-size multi-tools. I want to cover why I carry a full-size multi-tool daily on person, why I quit carrying a folding knife, and why I think a full-size multi-tool is a smarter idea than a folding knife. So to start off, why do I carry a full-size multi-tool? In my personal findings, opinions, and test, and just experience, I find a full-size multi-tool to be far more practical than just a single-bladed folding knife. So generally speaking, for representation, Leatherman Wave, this one, it has plain edge blade, and it has a serrated blade, but it also has a wood saw, but it also has a metal file and diamond sharpening stone, but it also has needle nose, but it also has screwdriver tips, but it also has a can opener. So ounce for ounce, size for size, people complain about the full-size multi-tool as being too heavy and too impractical to carry every day. What I see is a lot of value for weight. I find myself every day using a multi-tool so often that I can't really picture my life without one. So just real quick, a little bit of personal history. So for as far back as I can remember, my dad always carried a Gerber M600, I believe, in that black nylon pouch on his belt. He used it, every day occupationally, and I remember that he carried it so off, it was like every day, but just from holstering and unholstering, that sharp tip of the slide-out Gerbers would wear a hole in that holster of that multi-tool pouch, and it got to the certain point where it's like, is that pouch going to tear anymore? Right? It seemed like that multi-tool was just going to slide out the bottom. I don't think that ever happened. So I got my first Gerber multi-tool from him. I was probably about 9 or so, and it was an M400 Sport, and I still have that one. But I didn't bring it out, and I don't carry it anymore. It's more of a collectible. I saved that one. I don't really carry it. So the next one was a Leatherman Wave, and I believe I got this when I was 13 or 14, and I got it in the spring, right before I was going on a Boundary Waters trip. But ever since then, it was on me every single day. One time I did accidentally fly with this. Maybe I'll tell the whole story one time, but a couple days after I turned 18, I moved down to Texas, and going up to the security line, pulling everything, and for years and years, I got so used to carrying this in my pocket, and going up the security line, I always kind of get anxious a little bit when I am at an airport. So going through, taking my shoes off my belt, my pocket, or my wallet, my cell phone, everything, throw it in the security bin. I go through the little metal detector, and I'm putting everything back in my pocket. And one of the last things in the bin was this exact multi-tool. I kind of glanced around, didn't say anything, slipped back in my pocket. So it kind of goes back to what I was saying, that I'm just kind of so ingrained with always having a multi-tool on me. So me and the Leatherman Wave, we go back, we have a really tight connection. Me and this specific multi-tool, it's the same exact one. It saved my bacon quite a bit, and I got so used to always having it with me every day. And surprisingly, I haven't lost it yet, knock on wood. So a couple years back, me and Wendy the Wave, we had a little conversation, and I said, I'm going to set you on the shelf for a little while. I want to try a couple other multi-tools, but I'll always come back to you. So, we kind of went our separate ways, but, she stuck around. And so one of them that I ended up going to, which I like a lot, was the Gerber MP1. A really nice butterfly opening multi-tool. And then 2 other ones. Went back to Leatherman, and I got this silly thing, the Leatherman Signal. Probably my least favorite Leatherman multi-tool. And the Gerber center drive. I've attempted to review all these multi-tools, but what ends up happening is I go into far too much detail and nitpicky, really fine details that a lot of people probably won't care about. And they end up being really long video reviews on just one multi-tool. So in this video, I'm going to talk about these 4 multi-tools. Actually, I already did an individual review on this multi-tool, so we'll skip it. Okay, so we're down to 3 multi-tools. First, the Leatherman Wave. There's not much I can tell you about it that hasn't been said already. This is the quintessential, this is like the Glock 19 of multi-tools. I think Leatherman has not made a better multi-tool since this one, right? That's why I can't review this. There's so many reviews out there, and I have so much personal feelings towards this that it would kind of be a biased review. Yeah, and it's been reviewed so many times by so many people, so go check out a review if you're looking at this one. Okay, so the next one I want to talk about, the Leatherman Signal. It sucks. It's stupid. I'm not impressed with it. Shame on you, Leatherman. Leatherman, you should kind of be embarrassed with yourself. Kind of the main reason I don't like this is multi-tools are supposed to be universal, right? It's a tool I talked about with the Leatherman Wave. It's like me. It's like a tattoo to me. I've always had it with me. I think I was actually born with a multi-tool. I'll have to ask my mom. But they tend to be universal. The fact that this is catered towards kind of a survivalist type group of people, it's more gimmick than usefulness and utility. It goes against what I'm used to with Leatherman. It's roughly the same size and weight as a Leatherman Wave. Leatherman rebar, I believe, is a little bit smaller, and I would actually argue the rebar has a better tool set than this one. I would skip this one personally. For certain people that just need to have all the newest survival tools, this is great for you. If you're constantly getting lost in the woods, stuck on some deserted island, needing to knock rotten teeth out with ice skate, this is the multi-tool for you. But for me, I don't like it. So the last multi-tool is the Gerber MP1, and it's many people don't know about this multi-tool. It's one of my favorites. So what sets this apart is it has G10 handles. I really like that fact in cold weather. So right now we're going through pretty cold weather, at least where I'm at. So if I use this in cold weather, it doesn't really chill my hands that quick. So the last thing I want to cover is why don't I carry a folding knife? Well, I do, but it's in a multi-tool. It's kind of strange. Many people understand there's a knife on a multi-tool, but when you ask, well, do you carry a pocket knife? Well, yeah, I just showed you 4 of them, and they're pocket knives, but they're also so much more. So the reasons personally why I don't carry a folding knife is because first, I find them to be a waste of space for what I get. Second, a lot of them, good ones, tend to be expensive. Now, people will roll in the comments and say, well, no, you can get good budget folders. I've bought those good budget folders and I've broken them. Personally, for me, if I buy a folding knife, it's going to be a higher end folder. I haven't bought a folding knife in a long time, but if I do in the future, and if I carry one, it's going to be a Benchmade, a Spyderco, a Cold Steel, or an Emerson. Yes, I know there's other high-end knife companies out there. Those are the ones personally that I found work for me, fit my budget, fit my lifestyle, and fit my need of durability. An advantage of folding knives is they're fancy. They can gleam a lot of attention on Instagram and stuff like that. You can flip it out and show all your hipster friends, like, look at this fancy thing. But from a utility aspect, which is the exact reason why you carry a knife for utility tasks, I don't find them to be that conducive to multi-purposeness or universality, or I don't find them to be that good utility tools. Yeah, from just a pure analytical logical utility standpoint, which is why I carry a knife personally, I get a lot more utility out of multi-tool. So long story short, that's why I carry a multi-tool and I've quit carrying a folding knife. So in closing, I wanted to close with a couple things. First, I've thought about doing a frequently asked questions video. I've never done one before. So if you would like to see that and you want to ask a question, leave it in the comments below on this video. Just put FAQ in caps and then your question. Once I get maybe 20 of those, 20 or 30, I'll do a video on that you guys might find interesting. The second thing I've considered is trying out doing live chats or live streams. Now there's a way to do it just solo, which you guys wouldn't find interesting. I'm a pretty dry, boring person, but I've considered maybe teaming up with a couple other smaller channels. So I still have to kind of get that figured out. One in particular, Silver Fortune, he's a buddy of mine. He has a YouTube channel investing in precious metals, but you know, people that invest in precious metals and preppers, there's some crossover there. So I think you guys would learn a lot of interesting information from him. And there's a couple more on my radar. But yeah, leave it in the comments below if you know anyone that kind of has a smaller channel, or if you're watching this and you have a smaller channel and kind of a preparedness, survival type orientation channel, feel free to hit me up, leave a comment or message me, and maybe we could get together, 4 or 5 of us maybe, and kind of do a group live chat. So if you guys like this video, leave a comment down below. Give this video a big thumbs up, and if you haven't already, go back to my homepage, watch some of my current videos. If you like what you see, feel free to subscribe.